Hey guys, Mike coming back with another video. This is a little Hank Greenberg War Years video in pictures and autographs. Um, just wanted to do this while I had all this out right now and was reorganizing. Hank was the first baseball player to enlist for the draft shortly after the World Series in 1940 after they lost to the Reds. His time was called in May of 41. And this is a little chronology here. It looks like I got this menu that was signed. This is a menu from the Grenadier Room in Detroit, the Detroit Leland Hotel. And that's a picture of the Grenadier Room at the time. And this is a menu signed by Mickey Cochran and Hank. I would say they probably met for dinner that night on the night of May 5th, the day before Hank's last game before he was inducted. They signed that. The next day, Detroit played the Yankees. Hank hit 2 home runs in that game. And after the game, here's an original photo of him handing in his uniform to Del Baker, the Detroit manager. And nice vintage photo there. And that evening, on May 4th, they had a party for him to wish him well on his way out. And at the party, Joe DiMaggio, since the Yankees were in town, came by to give his respects and wish him the best. And Hank and Joe were good friends, you could tell, for the rest of their lives. Joe visited him at different camps over the years. I think Joe was married at the time, so he was exempt from the draft at that point. Though I think he may have later went. I'm not for sure on that, though. But anyway, they were good friends. And this is on May 6th, that evening, the next day after the first one I showed you. And then the next day, he reported to, I think it was Fort Custer, Michigan, for his first day in service. And there's a picture from that day. The back says that he was classified as a buck private at the time. So from the May 5th, 6th, and 7th was quite eventful for Hank. And that was his first day in service. He served while he was in service in 1941. The Congress enacted a new ruling saying that if you were over 28, you were exempt from the draft. So in December, Hank was discharged after serving so many months, and was headed home on December 5th. But of course, we all know on December 7th, 1941, the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. And a couple of days later, Hank decided to re-enlist. He was an anti-tank gunner in the training in the Army. And when he went back, this is a photo of him in February of 42, reporting to duty. He's still a sergeant at this time. He's going to transfer to the Army Air Force, that they called it at that time. And he's going to get a promotion after that. But he did go to MacDill Field in 1942, early in the year. And after he reported there, this is one of my favorite pieces in my collection. I got this years ago. This is a piece of stationery from MacDill Field. And Hank signed it, "Best regards from Sergeant Hank Greenberg." You see captain signatures occasionally. Sergeant's much harder to find because he was just a sergeant for much less time than he was a captain. But this is actually on MacDill Field stationery, which I think is just exceptional. Great autograph, beautiful. And here's a photo. It's a wire photo, but it's a photo of Hank playing for the MacDill team. A lot of bases had their own baseball teams at the time. And Hank played for I think it was the MacDill Flyers, Flyers. And I think you can actually see you can see the ERS on the uniform there. I think he hit a triple, it says in that picture. But as you can see, everybody on base, they got Hank Greenberg playing for him, and you can imagine the excitement of having him playing for your team back on your base. Now, Hank served most of 41, as I said, and then he came back in early 42. He missed most of the 41 season, all 42, 43, 44, and half of 45. So he missed a long time of service. I think that's obviously a big reason why people don't know him as well, because he was in his prime. He would have been 30 to 34 when he served. When he came back in 45 and 46, he led the league in home runs again. So he would have easily hit 500 home runs and probably had quite a few more. But this is early 42. And 44, he transferred to the China, served there, and then he was discharged. I'm sorry, in 43 or 44. But anyway, he was discharged in 1945. Now, in 1945, I've got a couple autographs. This is a postcard signed as Captain Hank Greenberg from April 17th, 1945. And this is a cut auto. I kind of made this one myself. Wish I'd done a little better job, but I found a photo of Hank with his Captain Greenberg. And this cut says good luck and best wishes from Captain Hank Greenberg, and it's dated June 29th, 1945. Now, he returned to the team on July 1st. And I love it that when he returned on the 1st, they didn't know if he would be able to even play again. I mean, after all those years, you don't know if he can even get back to that type of condition and ability. Here's a 1945 photograph. This is June 23rd. This is about a week before he came back. This is a signed photo too, which is really nice. Original press photo. And it's him in the hotel room and getting ready for baseball season. Again, he did come back and he hit a home run in his first game, July 1st, 1945. I think that let him know that he could do it. And the amazing thing is that they went on the last day of the season. He hit a grand slam to beat the St. Louis Browns to win the pennant for Detroit. And they went on to win the World Series in 1945, his second World Series. So 1945 is just an amazing year for Hank. I mean, he served his country well. He returned to baseball, proved to himself he could do it again, won another World Series in heroic form at the end of the year. Just amazing. And even some of the cards of the period show, this is the 1936, as you will see, Overland candy wrapper. Very rare piece. Very hard to find. And they made it for a number of years, and you can tell, and it's easy to tell if you want to know, because on the wrapper, there was an original wrapper, and then there was this wrapper that was made, obviously, after 1941. And where it says his description of Hank, it says now in the Army. So obviously it's very amazing. These are very scarce, but they were made obviously over a period of many years. How long Hank was, I don't know. I do have another one that's got Hank where it doesn't have now in the Army. So it was probably made around 1939 or 40, somewhere around there. But from 41 to 45, this one would be the one they used. So even the Army followed him into the cards and collectibles that followed during the time. So, but anyway, this is a little history there, and I thought it was real neat to kind of go through his career during the war years and why it's so special to me. 45 is as far as for him, and Just to be an amazing man, very well respected, and a great player. And could have been a lot more well known if he would have got to play those years, but he spent those years serving his country. A lot to be said for that, of course. So I hope you enjoyed that little journey. It was fun to put it together while I had everything out. And I appreciate you watching, and I'll talk soon, Lord willing. Thank you. Bye-bye.